All right, Jeff. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I just want to say it's an honor and welcome to have New York Times bestseller Jeff Pearlman. He's written 10 books, two books about the Lakers. One of his books, Showtime, um, was turned into a HBO TV series called Winning Time, which is one of my favorite HBO series. He's wrote a book about my favorite team, the Mets. Um, he's wrote a book about the Cowboys, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and most recently a book about Tupac. And I had the pleasure of meeting Jeff unexpectedly at the subway in Las Vegas, and that was just a great moment. And I'm reading three of your books right now.
All three.
Yeah, I'm kind of halfway, like kind of. I haven't finished, but you know, um, I just want to start with the Tupac book. The question, uh, what was the relationship between Tupac and Madonna? Did those two actually date or?
Only yes, but very briefly. And dating is kind of a euphemism for had sex. So it was a very quick sexual relationship. He wrote her a letter when he was in prison breaking up with her, and she was kind of like, all right. So I wouldn't say it was a serious relationship in his life, not overly serious.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Um, how did the absence of Tupac's biological father impact his upbringing?
I mean, drastically, he was raised by a single mom with severe addiction issues. He was raised in abject poverty. He wrote about this a lot in his music, how not having a father around just really traumatized him and haunted him. And he had multiple male role models. He was always looking for someone to be a male role model in his life, whether it was Mutulu Shakur, whether it was this pimp who Afeni used to be with for a brief period of time, a cousin, an uncle. He had his sister, his mom's sister was married to a guy named Tom. Like he was always looking for a male role model, but he never really had one, and he definitely was haunted by it in a major way.
Mhm. Uh, how was Tupac discovered by the Digital Underground? Can you explain how that launched his career?
Well, he wasn't really discovered by Digital Underground. What happened is he moved to Northern California, Marin City, after his junior year of high school in Baltimore. While he was there, he was living in the projects in Marin City. He did a lot of hip hop, obviously, sort of just on the sidewalk or different clubs every now and then. And there was a woman named Layla Steinberg who was a local kind of promoter, but also somewhat of a talent scout. And someone alerted her to Tupac, and she went to see him and was just blown away. And Layla also ran this sort of group for aspiring poets and artists, and Tupac started showing up. Layla happened to be friendly with the manager of Digital Underground. She sort of put Tupac on Digital Underground's radar, and after a lot of convoluted steps, he wound up, joining Digital Underground as kind of a backup singer slash a little bit of a roadie, backup dancer, a little bit of a roadie. Got his first verse on Same Song. Also appeared in the movie Nothing But Trouble, which was included Same Song, and from there, kind of, started doing solo stuff.
Um, can you talk about the violent altercation between director Alan Hughes that got Tupac fired from Minister Society?
Yeah, well, basically, Tupac was cast in Menace to Society, and his role he was going to play Sharif, which is it's like the seventh lead in the movie, and that was understandable. Tupac was very busy; he didn't want a major role, but he liked that role of the Muslim, the soft-spoken Muslim. But during table reads for Menace to Society, Jada Pinkett also on that film because of Tupac. Um, he started acting out. Tupac did, and he'd complain a lot, make a lot of snarky lines. And Alan Hughes, who was one of the directors of the film, actually had to tell the other cast members, "Stop responding to Tupac's comments. You're like egging him on." And finally, he just got tired of it and actually fired Tupac, called his agent, said, "We don't want him on the film anymore." And Tupac was really pissed off about it, thought it was misguided and also that it wasn't direct, even though he tried reaching out to him directly. One day it was Tupac and Spice One, I think, where Spice One was coming to town. He was actually working on the Menace to Society soundtrack. Tupac drives him over to where the movie is being filmed. Alan Hughes is there. Tupac sucker punches Alan Hughes and about 10 of his other guys with him. He was hanging out with a bunch of guys. They beat the crowd of Alan Hughes. Then Tupac made a horrible, horrible mistake, which is he went on Yo MTV Raps and bragged on camera about beating the crap out of Alan Hughes. And that became that footage of him admitting it on MTV became in the actual lawsuit filed by the Hughes brother, by Alan Hughes. Exhibit A is you literally admitted it on MTV. So stupid.
Um, in your mind, out of all the women that Tupac dated, which woman did Tupac have the deepest connection for? And which one did he care about the most, in your opinion?
Probably Kadada, his fiance at the end, Quincy Jones's daughter. They were very tight and they had a real connection. I mean, he had a high school girlfriend named Mary Baldridge who he was very connected with, but that was a high school relationship. Tupac didn't, in my opinion, didn't really form like he always cheated on his girlfriends, his fiancées, his wife, always. There was no fidelity. It was he always cheated. I don't think he was, I mean, he was raised by by an addict mom without a father around. He did not have the I don't think he knew how to have a steady uh monogamous relationship. But I would say Kadada was probably the closest he had. Mm.
And I just got a few questions about the Three Ring Circus, the book
Okay.
about the Lakers. Um, in the '97 Western Conference semifinals, Kobe Bryant, an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant, shot four air balls to get the Lakers eliminated. What was the aftermath of that moment, and how did that failure motivate Kobe?
Um, I mean, it's interesting because Del Harris was a coach. He had Kobe in the game. Kobe was open. It really went to show you much about Kobe. I actually think that's a very telling moment in Kobe Bryant's career because he kept shooting. He didn't like we've all played. I imagine you've played pickup basketball. I play pickup basketball. If I miss a couple of shots, I get gun shy. Like I'm kind of hide a little bit by my defender. I get tired of screwing up. He wanted it. And he misses it. He gets the blame. He's only a kid. He's 19. And he's back in the gym that night shooting jumpers. It's like Kobe. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You look at the play, other guys were open, but Kobe was super confident. He has one air ball. He's still super confident. Two air balls, still super confident. Three air balls, still super confident. He had a confidence that was way beyond his years and maybe at that point beyond his abilities, but it kind of did him well in the long run.
We all know about the Kobe and Shaq beef. Their personality, they never mesh.
Mhm.
Kobe was always focused. He was the focused one, the serious one. Um, Shaq was always goofing around, outgoing, doing cartwheels, breakdance, and stuff like that. It got to the point one of them had to go. Why do you think the Lakers decided to keep Kobe and let Shaq go?
He was younger. He was a product of the organization. He kept himself in better shape. He They had to pick. I mean, the funny thing is, it was his fault. You say one of them had to go. I think one of them had to go because of Kobe. I think Shaq could have continued to play with Kobe, but Kobe just wasn't willing to. So I think the Lakers made a business decision. This guy's younger. He has a brighter future. Shaq doesn't take care of himself. He eats a lot in the offseason. Kobe's in the gym. Shaq is in the pool. And they just made kind of a business decision. And, you'd have to say it was the right move. Like Shaq had a couple more good years, but it was a pretty quick downfall. And Kobe had another decade of being great.
Uh, During Kobe's time with the Lakers, who do you think who was he the closest to? Who was one of his closest teammates, or was he just a complete loner?
He was a loner. I would say Derek Fisher was his closest friend. He was also another Laker draft pick in '96. But he was a loner. He invited no teammates to his wedding. He got married in Dana Point, which is in Southern California. His teammates didn't even know he was getting married. Like he got married, they didn't even know. So he was very much a loner on those teams. He was not looking to make friends. He had in his head from the onset, I'm here. to win basketball games, to be the best player in the world, and that's it. I don't care if my teammates like me. It was unusual. In a way, Shaq was the exact opposite. Like Shaq, much more like being liked mattered to him. Having good relationships with his teammates mattered to him. It made him more endearing. Kobe was definitely just kind of a killer. He was there to win, and that's it.
Uh, Kobe was known to be standoffish, like you said, a loner, um, and in a way socially awkward, especially during his first year with the Lakers. What particular events or a series of events made Kobe more that made Kobe open up more and made him more of a leader of the team?
I think honestly, aging. I honestly do. I think aging. I think mortality. I think getting hurt, being sidelined. There's an old saying, youth is wasted on the young, where you're young and you think you're invincible. And he got older and he couldn't do what he used to do. And he became more of a jump shooter in the same way Michael Jordan became more of a jump shooter than a guy driving to the lane. And I also think becoming a parent, which also happens to all of us, myself included. You have kids, something changes. You're not the center of the universe all the time. These kids are. So I think like just the natural maturation of getting older changed him a lot.
Uh, I just have a few questions about the Winning Time, your book about Showtime, or your book called Showtime. Um, there was a lot of tension between Kareem and Magic, and on one of the episodes of Winning Time, there was an actual scene of a physical altercation, like a lot of push and shoving between Kareem and Magic. Um, did that actual fight, that physical fight, actually take place? Did those two actually get physical with each other?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wrote that book 15 years ago, so it's hard for me to remember everything. I just don't remember.
I
Sorry.
got you.
Yep.
Um,
It's tough because I drift from subject to subject, and sometimes
but
some of the things are easier to remember than others. The fight between Shaq and Kobe definitely happened. Magic and Kareem, I think that was for TV, if I remember. So, not my call.
and he did get in a fight with the guy from the Utah. I forgot his name.
That is true. He did.
John
Yep.
Long, I think.
What'd you say?
I think his name was John Long, right?
Yeah, it was John Long. Yeah, he did get in a fight with John Long. Correct.
Okay. I just have a personal question about baseball. I'm a big baseball fan. Personally, I believe the golden age of baseball was the mid '80s of baseball, mid '80s to the early '90s. Like I heard
Mhm.
from a lot of people, the '70s was real good, '60s were real good, '50s. I just think baseball was in a better place when only the division winners went to the playoffs instead of having these like 30 wild card teams and stuff like that. Um, like like back in the day, winning the division in baseball was huge.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, shoot, you had fans storming the field when teams clinched the division back in the day. I believe baseball turned into crap like in '94 when they came up with this wild card round and interleague play because interleague play it takes away the anticipation of the World Series and the All Star game. What are your thoughts about that?
Uh, I would say my biggest complaint with baseball isn't the same as yours. I don't like a lot of the new rules. I really hate that you can only throw over twice to first base. I think if Ricky Henderson were playing nowadays, he'd be stealing 300 bases a year with that rule. Like it's kind of ridiculous. I also think baseball shifted in the steroid era with the emphasis on power and the
Yeah,
complete emphasis on power. And you lost one of the best parts of the game visually, which is Ricky Henderson, Tim Raines, Vince Coleman, Willie Wilson leaning off first base, waiting to steal, the hit and run, the anticipation. I didn't like when the NL went DH. Like, I like the challenge of a manager having to figure out, is my pitcher going to bunt? Do I pinch hit to him? Is it too for him? Is it too early to pinch hit for him? Like there's a lot of fun strategy in baseball that's been eliminated by the DH and the emphasis on power. We are just waiting for the 3-run home run instead of generating runs. I enjoy the generating of runs a lot.
Like I hate it when they switch the divisions around too.
Yeah.
Like remember the Cubs and the Mets used to be in the same division. The Cardinals, the Pirates.
Wait, how old are you?
Uh, 46.
You're officially an old man. Welcome to my club, where you complain about things and young people would be like, grandpa, shut up. Like, I agree with you 100%. Nobody young gives a crap. They just hear us two old guys complaining, you know?
I mean, I remember when the Braves used to be in the like the NL West with the Dodgers and
Yeah, of course. But I will say it didn't really make sense. Like, that's the thing. It didn't make sense. Like, why should the Braves have to fly 3,000 miles every time to play multiple division games? Like, it
through
didn't
that.
make sense. And it wasn't really fair to the teams. Like the Dodgers having to fly to Atlanta for a three-game series doesn't really make sense.
Um, I just got a question. I know you wrote a book about Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
I always thought like Andy Van Slyke was a good ball player. I mean, he can do it all. He could run, he could hit,
Definitely.
uh, he could field. What was their relationship like, Barry Bonds and Andy Van Slyke? Did those two get along, or did those two
Hmm.
hate each other?
No.
Um,
Andy Van Slyke had one of my favorite quotes of all time. He said, after Barry Bonds left for the Giants, he said, I'd rather lose without him than win with him. Um, None of those guys like Bonds. Maybe Bonilla kind of like Bonds. And I think John Cangelosi tolerated Bonds, but none of those guys like Bonds. Bonds was a diva. He's always been a diva. He was a diva athlete. Now, there are a lot of diva athletes, and Bonds was great. There's no doubt about it. But like, definitely a diva athlete. So he was not liked.
I used to like Angelosi when he played for the Mets. I remember him charging the mound against John Smoltz, and man, that was a vicious fight. I don't
He
know
was
if
a
you remember.
gritty, he was a gritty little guy, that John Cangelosi.
But yeah, what was he like 5'6"?
Very small. He's probably 5'9", but yeah, he was small. Yeah,
Right.
that's funny. How many people in America today are talking about John Cangelosi, Brian? Two of us. Two. That's it.
All right, Jeff, man, I appreciate your time, man.
Wait, you didn't even ask me the most important question, Brian.
What was that?
What's my order at Subway? I was going to ask you, Brian. You go into a Subway. What do you get when you go to the Subway?
Oh man, like honestly, man, when I met you that day, it still hasn't sunk in. I couldn't believe I met you.
Wow. You
Like
must not meet many people, Brian. That's it. If I
I,
if I'm a dazzling meet, we got to meet you, introduce you to more famous people.
I hear you.
Hey,
Oh, I
Brian,
just
I
got
have
one.
breaking news I need to discuss with you.
Go
Are you
ahead.
a football fan?
Oh yeah, Dolphins fan.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Oh, geez. The Jets just added Geno Smith as their new quarterback.
Oh yeah, yeah, I heard about that.
How am I supposed to feel about that as a Jet fan? Not good, right?
I just got a quick question on about Hall Notes. We both like Hall Notes. I remember you telling me Hall Notes is one of your favorite groups. I actually got to see them in concert in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas when I lived in Las Vegas in 2019. They put on a show. What is my favorite Hall Note song is Private Eyes.
Yep.
Um, what is your favorite Hall Note song, and have you ever seen them in concert before?
I've probably seen Hall & Oates in concert 8 times. Every time they got worse though. The sets kept getting shorter and shorter as they got older and older. My favorite song that anyone would know is Rich Girl. I think Rich Girl is an actual perfect
Yeah.
song. It's great. They have a lot of B-sides, and Abandoned Luncheonette is one of my favorite albums of all time. If you haven't heard it, it's a great album. I think it's their second album. Um, but yeah, they got worse and worse. Now they don't perform together anymore. It's probably a good thing. I heard John Oates say the other day, he was saying how like we just weren't as good as we used to be. And after a while, you don't want to sound bad and disappoint your fans, you know? So there you go.
All right, Jeff. Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
Um, oh, can you talk about the relationship between MC Hammer and Tupac, and how their relationship evolved, or was there a relationship at all between those two?
Yeah, actually, Hammer signed to Death Row, which is the weirdest marriage of all time because people think of Hammer as can't touch this Hammer and too legit to quit Hammer. But Hammer signed to Death Row and he and Tupac got along really well. And the interesting thing about Hammer, like, all right, so we're not that far. I'm 53, so we're in the same music age area.
Yeah.
Like, Hammer to me was kind of a joke after You Can't Touch This, right? He was like kind of goofy in the big pants and all that stuff. And, Here Comes the Hammer and all that stuff. But like Hammer had a lot more street cred than Tupac did. Like Hammer actually did grow up in sort of gang infested Oakland back in the day. He did not grow up easy, and Hammer had some real sort of cred. His music didn't suggest that, but he did. So when he signed Death Row, the problem is when Hammer got to Death Row, it was too late for him to be a Death Row artist, like a serious Death Row artist. Nobody was going to take Hammer seriously. It's like who tried to do a gangsta album? Like Vanilla Ice tried to do kind of a really hard gangsta album, right? And it's like, no, man, you're not. It's not. And the same thing with Hammer. The only difference is Hammer actually did have a little bit of a background for it. And guys like Tupac respected Hammer a lot. Um, Also, Tupac lived in Oakland, and Hammer was Oakland. So there was like a kinship there. There's no doubt about it. I went to an event, a street naming in Oakland for Tupac, and Hammer spoke beautifully about how much he loved Tupac and how tight they were. So
Did you ever see the VH1 movie about the MC Hammer movie or the MC Hammer story?
missed that one. Did I make a
Oh, it's pretty
mistake?
good to check it out. Um, Now wasn't Hammer with Tupac that night in Las Vegas? Like he was with them, but he wasn't there
I
in the
don't think he
car.
was at the fight, but I could be wrong. Was Hammer at the Tyson Bruce Seldon fight that night? Because Suge Knight brought in a bunch of people. He definitely wasn't in the MGM afterwards when Tupac punched Orlando Anderson. So I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah, I know in the VH1 movie about MC Hammer, like
Wow.
he was there, but he decided not. He didn't leave the hotel
Yo,
to like
let me give you some serious advice. Not kidding. And this is even speaking from Winning Time, the movie man. Never take information from a made for TV movie as gospel to what happened. Like a lot of time, I'm not criticizing the medium. I'm saying a lot of times they will add elements to it that aren't real. So just be careful.
very true, very true.
Yep.
All right, Jeff. Well, I just want to thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, of course. Of
Taking
course.
your time out your busy day.
Weirdly, I never go to Subway, and I went to Subway yesterday. I literally never go to Subway. So there you go. It's meant to be, Brian.
Really.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, man. It was just an honor meeting you and you doing this for me, man. And
It's my pleasure. Of course. We
I'm
always have
very,
Subway. We always have Subway.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll cherish this, and hopefully I get a chance to meet you again, man,
That'd
someday.
be great. That'd be great. Keep in touch.
Yes, sir, Jeff. Take
All right,
care.
man.
Thank you.
Good talking to you. I'll see you.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye.